Alright people, so it's gift season. So, as everyone knows, you have that special whiskey drinker in your life, special gin drinker, rum drinker. So I'm here to help you today. So you don't have to just sit there and ponder and not know what to buy them. So we're going to start off with these 6 scotches, okay? So they're going to fit the bill for whatever type of whiskey drinker they are. If they're a bourbon drinker wanting to get into scotch, the Glenlivet rum cask fusion with bourbon cask is going to work wonders. If they want to get into the Islay, but they don't want to dive straight into the Isleys, the Jura and the Clynelish are going to work wonders. They have a little bit of salinity to it. If you want a classic Highland with a really rich honey citrus characteristic to it, Glenallichs will work wonders. If you want to do a cool Islay, they've probably done the Ardbeg, Lagavulin, the Perlati Islay Barley editions that are vintage dated are outstanding. They always have that touch of sweetness that you get in Lagavulin 16. Alright, so as I know, most of our customer base is into the bourbons. So we'll talk about some specialty bourbons we have. So I picked 3 ryes and 6 bourbons for you. Okay, so 3 ryes are, in my opinion, ryes that allow your rye lover, who may like bourbon as well, get into and have a great rye to enjoy. These are a little bit on the sweeter side for a rye, especially the Rye 3, which is really nice. Some of the original stock they actually put out, and we were lucky enough to get a barrel of that. Then I picked some of our barrel picks that really stood out to me. The Maker's Mark being a totally different stave cast or stave finish that we decided to do, going 8 in one stave and 2 in another. The toasted French oak added that little bit of spice that people are looking for in Makers, not to make it overly sweet. Well, the baked American pure gave it that nice vanilla caramel sweetness that people love and adore. Then the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, we tried to pick some that tasted like your old school Elijah Craigs, the ones that were in the high 130s with all that flavor with not as much of a punch. So we decided to go for a 122, which has that classic creme brulee butterscotch, real richness that Elijah Craig is known for. Then we did Lux Row picks. Now, Lux Row is always fun because, for a short period, for a while, Ezra Brooks used to be sourced from Heaven Hill. Yellowstone was making their own stuff. But we got lucky this time. We actually got to pick an Ezra Brooks that was our own distiller, which really sings, especially if you put it over a little bit of ice. It opens up with that nice chocolate-covered cherry sweetness. It's really, really well made. Same thing with the Yellowstone, except the Yellowstone had a little bit more of a rye kick to it. So if you do like a little bit more rye in your bourbons, Yellowstone's going to be a perfect gift. Then we also did the Elijah Craig 94. Elijah Craig 94, soft, sweet, easy to drink. Wonderful for those guys who want to have something to drink all throughout the year, and wonderful for those guys who just drink during the colder months. And the last one's going to be the Blue Rum, which was actually blended by Jim Rutledge. And this was pretty cool because, he was really well known for the Four Roses High Rye recipe that he did, but he decided to switch it up a little bit, do a little bit less rye, do a little more corn in it, and he made this killer Blue Run High Rye. Great looking bottle, really nice dried fruit to it, really nice caramel, really nice sweet spices to it. Just some outstanding whiskeys here that your bourbon lover would really enjoy. Alright, so now we have some brandies for your brandy lovers. So we're going to start with the classic cognac, being the High and Rare VSOP. This is their base expression. It's a blend of grape from Grand Champagne and Petite Champagne. So it has that really richness from Grand Champagne, but it has that elegance coming from the Petite Champagne. So really nice fruity floral notes to it. Has a little bit of the spice to it. Really, really well made. Next one we're going to talk about is actually Spanish brandy, being Torres 15. So the oldest brandy in there is 15 years, but Spanish brandies tend to be a little bit sweeter, so they have a little bit more of the milk chocolate, more of the kind of chocolate-covered cherries, raisins, dates, prunes, figs, so a little bit richer than your typical cognac. The next one we've got is a cognac actually made in California. It's pretty cool because these guys actually do it out of 3 grape varieties you would not expect: Pinot Noir, Colombard, and Semillon. Okay? So it's still going to have that kind of same richness as Hein, except it is going to be a little more elegant. So it has much more fruit to it, has much more of a kind of a honeysuckle note, has that nice chocolate sweetness, a tad of chocolate sweetness, but really, really well made. And some really cool brandies for your brandy lover. Alright, so these are the rums for the rum lovers. So similar enough, if you have somebody who's a bourbon drinker, a scotch drinker, an Irish whiskey drinker who wants to explore something different, doesn't feel like doing the traditionals, and you want to give them something in that totally different realm, I would highly recommend these rums. The first rum we're going to talk about is a Ron Azalco rum. So it's actually a barrel select we ended up picking. Okay, so rums, being in the climate that they are, a lot more evaporated. So we got a lot less bottles. So usually, most barrels come around 150, 200 bottles. We got 74 bottles of this. So very limited amount in the store. But really delightful. Has that vanilla caramel, has that really nice brown sugar molasses sweetness. So you get in like the style of maybe a richer bourbon and a Scotch finish in like a rum barrel, something like that. The other one we did was Run Centenario 25. So this is pretty cool because they take all the rums, are aged in ex-bourbon casks, and they blend them together, and they finish it in lowland Scotch barrel. So it has that nice bit of herbalness, it has that brown sugar molasses, it has that nice dark dried fruit coming forward, undertones of caramel, really, really delightful. And then the last one we'll talk about is the El Dorado 21. So just like the Ronazalco, that is actually 100% 21 years old. So you're getting a really high quality rum here. So they didn't make a ton of these. So what you have is you have that nice brown sugar. You also have like what El Dorado's known for, the dark fruit. You got the vanilla, the caramel, nice sweet spices in this one. So if you are looking for maybe a touch spicier rum, the El Dorado 12 would work, or El Dorado 21, excuse me, would work wonders. So these are the perfect gins for your gin lover, okay? So we got three really unique gins. The first one we got is Cadenhead's Old Raj. So Cadenhead is really well known for that Scotch everyone is looking for, Springbank. But they do gins. They do two labels. We carry the red one, which is more of the classic one. The other one's used more for cocktails. This is actually meant to be a sipping gin. So really nice floral notes to it. There's a really nice orange citrus, kind of an orange blossom characteristic as well. Not overly juniper forward, so if you're not looking for something like a really classic London dry, this has a little bit of the New World style to it, but still some of those nice London dry notes. If you like to do gin and tonics, gin martinis, other things like that, these would work wonders. The next gin is the Asker, which is a cool gin. It's actually a Nordic gin, but this is going to be more of your piney, floral, what you're looking for in a classic London dry. And also it comes in a liter bottle. And it's pretty cool because all the botanicals are actually, ironically, sourced from France. So they do that, they blend it together, and it's just an outstanding gin. Then the last one we got is a gin actually made here in Florida, down in Tampa, Florida, called Dark Doors Demeter Gin. So this is going to be much more New World. So if you really want to go in order, Old Raj would be a little bit closer to New World. Asker is totally London dry, but this is like your New World style. So if you like that citrus, if you really like those fruity characteristics to it, you don't really want a lot of that juniper coming forward, this is going to work wonders. All right, so last but not least, we've got Japanese whiskey. So also, somewhat everything else, these are things you can do for if you want to totally go off the wall. Because these are basically a combination of techniques used in all different types of whiskey. So bourbon, Irish, Scotch, Canadian, all these different things. So the first one we're going to talk about is actually going to be the Ichiro's Malton Grain. Now the irony, this is a blend of all 5 of those whiskeys. So Japanese, Canadian, Irish, Scotch, and American whiskey, okay? So it's a little bit different. It has a little bit of spice to it. It has a hint of smoke to it, but it's really nice and soft. It's a perfect introductory into that Japanese whiskey style, especially if you're coming from Scotch or Irish whiskey. Then the other one is Kaya's Mizunara Oak. Now you've got to like the flavor of Mizunara Oak. And Mizunara tends to have a really floral characteristic to it. So if you're a huge fan of that Yamazaki 12, but you don't want to go into that $200+ price point, definitely grab a Kaya, because he's pretty cool. So what he does is he takes the finished blend and he puts it on a ship for 3 months. So just kind of like they did in Cognac when they were shipping it to Britain. So it does pick up that little bit of salinity, has that nice floral kind of a jasmine note to it, vanilla, caramel, really, really delightful stuff. So thank you very much for watching. I hope these help you guys pick out some really great gifts for that special someone in your life. Have a wonderful day.